160-pound WBO middleweight champion of the world. Welcome to the show, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's all good.
How's life treating you, my man?
Life is good, man. Just, doing what I gotta do to make it better for the future. That's it. Pushing it to the limit, doing what I need to do to, make sure my family's good and my kids have something to look forward to on top of their own ventures in life.
That's what it's all about, man, especially family time. I know you're a family man. What have you been doing recently, chilling with the family? I know you watch a lot of television. What are you into, man? What have you guys been doing?
Now I just watch them TikTok themselves all day. I'm like, is that all you guys do? But no, it's fun though. I mean, they be doing, my kids are captives, so they be dancing along, doing things like that. We do a lot of outside activities and just watching them grow and hopefully steering them the right way and making sure they have education, morals, and whatever they do in life, you know what I'm saying? Do it, wrong, bad, ugly, or sad, just learn from it. And, daddy, mommy's going to be here for you regardless.
100%.
We all got to learn one way or another, so we got to make the mistakes.
100%, man. I walk into a room sometimes, I see my stepdaughter who's 12 years old, and she's just like doing some crazy random dance. And then I have to realize that her phone is like propped up on some like kind of object or whatever, her hydro flask or whatever. I'm like, what are you doing? This looks nuts. And then I realized she's doing a TikTok video. But speaking of I was talking about movies when we started off and television, like what pacifies my time. I love television and movies. I know that you're on a project right now called Fists of Justice. Can we talk about that?
I mean, I could just put a little bit out there. I'm a producer on this Fist of Justice movie. It's a really intense and great storyline behind it for MMA, boxing, and also just the justice part and how both sports takes place in actually finding out what the justice is. Can't spill the beans, but it's definitely a story to watch, a movie to talk about.
I'm excited for it. I mean, there's a lot of like martial arts themed movies coming back with boxing and, just, karate in general. I mean, I'm repping right now Cobra Kai and all that kind of stuff. And, it's the right time for that sort of thing. And those movies were always so good. Do you have a favorite like martial arts film of all time, brother?
Growing up, I watched, Claude Van Damme. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a fan of that. A lot of even today, when I get a chance, I even watch The Last Samurai, this TV episode series thing about how Japan and how all that stuff. I like that, thinking and how to prepare for war and how they did it without guns first,
Well, what I love is that you said preparing for war. Okay, so let's break down the resume. 30-0, 18 KOs, 2-division world champion that you are, U.S. national champion, Golden Gloves champion, and also an Olympian. Okay, so what brought you into the sport of boxing, and what's the motivation behind that, man?
I mean, my dad, Paul Andrade, my trainer, who was my trainer, just he's a veteran, of course. Today he's a veteran. He went out and supported and fought for us, retired, and then just dedicated his time and efforts to his kids. And for us, with him, it was like boxing. He had his own gym, boxing. If football season came in, he was our football coach. Maybe not like, a Division I. If, people know football, it's A team, B team, C. He was never my coach, but he was coaching another team with my older brother, and he would be there. He put us in tennis. We did karate for a little bit. We did all types of sports. And, boxing was just something that we always did because it was all year round, and we did the other sports when the season came. And just started developing the skills and as I was in the gym, because my dad trained a few professional fighters at the time. My older brother was in the gym, like more serious than I was when I was younger. Of course, I was in there acting like I was a wrestler and doing all that type of stuff. Booker T and Bret the Hitman Hart. I was doing all those moves, and then I got better and better. One of the things you just said, I won, and just wanted to. I picked boxing. I had scholarships to certain schools for football. Now that I look back, I probably should have just went for the school, but I didn't. I should have just, instead I just stuck to boxing and did what I had to do to be where I'm at today. But my dad, my family, the motivation is within me, and then within is for them, and just like showing them, like, no matter what obstacles or which route you pick in life, just make sure it is what you want to do, and you go and you put your best foot forward all the time. That's it.
Well, I think you certainly did that. And your style of fighting, I mean, obviously you're southpaw, but you do go switch back and forth. And I find it very interesting with what you do with your style. You're very hard to face. From what I understand, that you land over 50% or about 50% of your punches on opponents during a fight. That's remarkable. So can we talk about that style a little bit?
Yeah, my style was hit, not get hit, from, rest in peace, brother Nazim was, swim without getting wet, he will say. But at the end of the day, my dad taught us the proper way. And, for a father too, he don't want to see his kids get hit and beat on. So my dad taught us, how to defend ourselves, and, also doing those other sports, and doing a different type of training exercises, and mentally, picking up on, oh, this will work with this tool will work with that. And so just took all the, learning that I took and just put it into boxing, and just like, I'll be in there, I'll be rocking back and forth like I'm playing tennis, you know what I'm saying? Or about to steal a base, football drills, like all that stuff, just like kind of like, comes in play. And also, I have my own style, I have my own thing, but as far as like angles and, how to cut angles and what I'm looking for, if my dad taught me, and I put it all together.
It's an excellent style. I love to watch it, to be honest with you, because I could see what you're doing, but at the same time, I couldn't pull those moves off. Like, they're excellent maneuvers. And I like that you know how to turn it up when you need to turn it up, and also know how to like move around and box. So you have a hybrid of everything that's going on. Do you have a favorite fighter that influenced this type of style?
Well, nobody actually influenced my style but myself and everything that I learned through my own journey. But as far as like watching boxing, like my time when I was watching boxing, it was Roy Jones. So Roy Jones Jr. was somebody I was like, with my age, was who was doing it when I started looking into it. And then as time went on, I started like learning how to get on a computer and typing in boxers' names and watching it, Sweet Pete, Ray Leonard, Hearns, Hagler, the Marvelous Man, and just like, just watch them. Chad Dawson back, like, he's from my area, like even when he was on top doing his thing, I just watched a little bit of everybody, but I really never picked up from anybody, really, like try to copy somebody else's stuff. I just did what works for me, and what me and my dad work on.
Well, that's what you mentioned with Roy Jones. I mean, he was definitely his own unique style. And you also mentioned, Leonard and all those great guys. Have you seen the documentary on Showtime, Four Kings?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Nope.
man. They document Duran, Hearns, the whole era of great middleweights, in which you're involved in right now. You're at 160, WBO world champion. There's so many people for you to fight, but nobody wants to fight you. If you had an ideal fight, if you're comfortable answering this question, who do you want to fight?
Oh yeah, I was my strategy was to, fight Billy Joe. And, we had our back and forth thing about him not waiting for Canelo. And so that was really like one of my strategies, make that fight happen so I could throw a monkey wrench in, like that Canelo undisputed thing he's trying to do versus the easiest European fighters that are here today that are champions. You know, unfortunately, that's just how it is. Billy Joe's just the weakest of it, and Callum Smith is the weakest one of them. You know, yeah, whatever. So anyway, you know, at this point right now, to like get a good profile name, I think is, you know, be Triple G would be a good name. I think Devchenko, they talked about this Chris Eubank kid. I mean, at the end of the day, it don't even matter. Whoever it is that they put in front of me, I'm going to smack up, beat down, and put my hand up at the end of the night and go home and look for the next best thing. At the end of the day, if I'm a horrible fighter, if I'm this, I'm that, why not come beat me up, take what's mine, and send me home? And, you know, for people that's out there like, oh, payday, yo, I make millions of dollars. I make $1 million plus every time I step into the ring. Not $1.1 million, not $1.2 million, not $1.3 million, $1 million plus, like 2 more. So it's not about fighting for money. It's about, of course, money is the reason why I fight. That's just like at the end of the day, that's the reason why we all get up every morning and go work.
Yes,
boxing
sir.
is work in a sense. I'm going to go work to go get paid to feed my family. So yes, I want a payday. Yes, thank you, people, just like everybody else that stepped into the ring. But it's not like I'm fighting for a payday to get beat up. No, I'm fighting to get paid, of course, but I'm fighting to fuck somebody up and let them know that I'm the best. That's the difference.
I love it. I love the passion, especially when he called out, you know, Canelo about a fight with Rocky Fielding. You're like, you're going to fight him and you're telling me I'm not worthy? You know, and no disrespect to fighters that get in the ring, but come on, Demetrius, we know that you're way more than worthy of a fight against Canelo. Would you want to do that fight? A lot of people want to know this question at 160, 168. Are you comfortable moving up in weight class?
Canelo was actually my mandatory at 154 pounds, which he didn't want to do for the WBO. I got stripped from the WBO because of, you know, inactivity. It was hard for me to land a fight. I get stripped. He was talking all that shit like, oh, who cares about belts? I end up getting stripped for inactivity. Who he fights? Lima Smith. Colin Smith, his brother. And then, you know, he goes up to 160 and says, I want to unify the division at 160. I beat Triple G. So he got all 3 belts from Triple G. Now he needs 1 more to be undisputed, the first Mexican fighter to be undisputed. And then he said, who has it? It's Demetrius Andrade. He says, I go up to 168 and I fight to be undisputed. And then the people that's up there, right? David Benavides, he lost his belt on the scale. So Canelo's like, Viva la Mexico, I can do it now. I can fight the easier guys and say I'm the legendary best. He fights Colin Smith, Liam Smith, or whatever his name is, Yudum, whoever that kid is. And now the only person that's like is somebody, but not really, you know, for anybody or at the caliber of like me, myself, or even I think a lot of people think is going to say David Benavides is Caleb Plant. I love Caleb Plant. He's a good friend, you know, and if he gets the fight, I'll be happy for him and his journey and his story alone is beautiful and sad at the same time, and
yes,
he overcame it. And I would love to see somebody like that, you know, make all the money in the world. Just share it with me because I won't call you out and beat you up for it. So, you know, make me proud, share some of that. But yeah, so I mean, that's just the easiest weight class, 168 pounds. So that's nothing compared to fighting me, Charlo, David Benavides. You know what I'm saying? That's way harder than Colin Smith, Lima Smith, Billy Joe, Yurdum, Rocky Fielding, and whoever else is on that list.
Bro, that's so well said. And Caleb Plant, yes, that story, tragic. Great guy. I look forward to having him on my show sometime soon. Great story. And there's a lot of great fighters, like you said, to be fights to be pitted at 160, bro. I mean, if we look at it, like there's a lot of great fighters in your weight category. There's no reason for anyone to be ducking anyone. I know you certainly don't duck. I know you've been trying to jockey for position. And that's why I brought up the Four Kings documentary on Showtime. Hagler, Hearns, Duran, you know, Leonard, all those great cats doing their thing, going out there. They fought. They fought a lot. They fought all the time and multiple times. And that's what we need. And I know guys like you are trying to do that, and we definitely appreciate it. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit more about your hobbies, man. We've talked a little bit to start the show about like TV shows, movies. Let's talk about music. What kind of music do you like, man?
Yeah, I listen to all types of music, man. You know, R&B, jazz, old town, the oldies, Motown. You know, I listen to a little rap. I listen to everything. It all depends, you know, the vibe and the situation that I'm in. You know, I listen to it all. If it's you know, if it's good for the body and soul, I'm listening to it.
What about video games? Do you play video games?
Yeah, I grew up in the era of playing video games. I had Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis. I had it all. I got Xbox, PlayStation. You know, right now I'm working on trying to get the PC to look. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out here doing PCs and shit. So I'm like, shit, let me get a PC.
Did you ever, for Nintendo 64, did you mess around with GoldenEye? The James
Oh,
Bond
yeah.
game?
I definitely played some GoldenEye, James, racing joints. Yeah, I played a lot. Played a lot of games. I play games now too. You know, when I get a chance, when it's quiet, I might hop on, you know, get away, do my thing, you know.
What about let's talk about you. You're in the East Coast. I'm originally from the East Coast, from New Jersey. I'm now in Vegas. The food on the East Coast, no comparison to what we have in Vegas. Like Vegas food, not so good. What's your spot? So what's your go-to type of source for food?
Oh, I mean, home cooked food, of course. I got a 5-star, kitchen. So me and my woman, you know what I'm saying? She's definitely 5-star. We cook it all. But Cape Verdean food is really good food. Spanish food's really good. I mean, Italian, like, you know, Rhode Island is really diverse with all different cultures and ethnicity and food backgrounds, you know, plant-based. I mean, New England definitely, like you said, but Rhode Island, I think, has the best food selections, you know, and I could say in the United States. Like, I haven't been to every single state, but I've been to a lot of states and a lot of countries, and I can say, Rhode Island, we definitely have a lot of, options.
That's why I brought that up, because I heard that. You know, I had Mike Velaz on the show. I've spoken to many people from Rhode Island before in the past, and they keep talking about how great the food is over there. And I'm originally from like around Newark, New Jersey area, and it's very eclectic. Like you were saying, you got Portuguese food, you got Italian food, you got great Chinese food. I came out to Vegas, moved out here. I'm like, man, I should have thought this through, because this food ain't as good as eating something in the water.
I mean, eating sand pancakes, dust crab meat. Like you go out. No disrespect to my Vegas people, but god damn, you go outside, you already inhaling dust and shit, and it's sand that's just floating all over. It's like crunch. I mean, you want something crunchy, I guess go to Vegas. Cause shit,
it is dry as a bone. Yo, my man Demetrius has said it 100%. It's dry as a bone. But then we have a couple restaurants that we go to, but now because of this whole COVID thing, now
there is a good restaurant out there though. It's like Ethiopian food. I did try some Ethiopian food out there, which was pretty good. They did a good job making that type of food. But yeah, everything else, man.
What's that cuisine like? The Ethiopian food. What's that like?
It's good, you know, rice, beans, and stuff like that. Just the seasoning's a little different. You know, they got their own, way of doing it. I mean, it was well. I enjoyed it, but everything else, yeah, it's like, I mean, you go to Wolfgang Puck. You know, you go inside the casino, maybe Wolfgang Puck's all right. It's a good spot, the MGM. But other than that, yeah, I'd rather travel with my fanny pack with my own food.
I got another question for you before I let you go. We're talking about food. Now I'm getting hungry. You said that you chef it up at the house. What kind of food do you like to cook?
I'm like, for me, if I take over the kitchen, I'm like more a breakfast guy. You know what I'm saying? I like to throw down any time of the night. I make eggs, pancakes, French toast. I like the breakfast throw down. But I could cook, anything really. Get on the grill or steak. Um, some black bean burger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can put it all together. It's all good. But I'd rather not though. I'd rather not do too much because let me tell you guys a little secret, right? We have a woman and then she's like, "Oh, let me do my laundry. Can you do the laundry?" Right? You gotta mess up the laundry. You gotta put bleach in the color clothes and it get all messed up and shit like that. And so next time she's like, "Yo, you messed up shit. You don't do the laundry anymore." Then you're like this. Yes.
I've done it before. I wish I could grab my wife right now, brother, because she would tell you the same shit. Like, as soon as we moved in together about 5 years ago. She's like, "You should do your own laundry and I should do my own laundry." And I said, "I totally agree with you, honey." Because I fucked it all up, bro. It was a mess. Even with dishes to this day, she has to rewash these bad boys, bro. Like, I put them in the dishwasher. She's like, "What the fuck were you thinking?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just threw everything in there because it was in the sink, trying to get the job done,
Yeah.
onto the day." But she's like, "Look at this. Does this look clean to you?" And the shit would be so dirty and would be a mess. It was actually worse than it was when I put it in. I don't know how it happens.
That's funny.
But brother, I can't wait to see you in action again. You have great fights and a great future lined up. Can we tell our listeners how everyone can follow and support your great career?
Yeah, YouTube, of course, Demetrius Andrade, Instagram, Boo Boo Andrade, just, Google Demetrius Andrade and all my social media definitely come up. Go get download the Zone app to, check out my previous fights if you need to, and all the fights that's, coming ahead. That's how you do that. It's like the Netflix for boxing. If you don't know, now you know. And, be well, God bless, and work hard, and, what I'm saying, do what makes you happy. That's it.
One life, like as my friend Chris Bird tells me, one life. And that's a very motivating thing you just said right there. And that's why I love talking to professional fighters or anyone that fights in life. No matter what the adversity is, there's always a complication, there's always a challenge. And you are certainly going out there and facing those challenges. And we can't wait to see you, brother. I appreciate you so much for today and your time, my man.
Yeah, appreciate you too, man. Thank you. God bless, and keep up the good work yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you.